Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. Most entrepreneurs are chasing more. We're chasing more clients, we're chasing more employees, we're chasing more contacts, more leads, whatever it may be. But what if science proves that you can only handle 150 meaningful relationships at a time? And what if knowing this changed the way you do business? See, entrepreneurs oftentimes spread themselves too thin because we get to thinking more connections equals more success. But that's not necessarily true. And that's because of something called Dunbar's number. See, Dunbar's number, and we're going to define it here in a moment, Dunbar's number proves that quality is greater than quantity in relationships. And understanding this helps you as an entrepreneur, as a business leader, scale smarter, retain your clients longer, and build a network that actually moves the needle. So what is this? What is Dunbar's number? Okay. Robin Dunbar, who was a British anthropologist, he studied primates. And in studying primates, he found that the size of our neocortex in our brain, right, limits how many meaningful relationships that we can actually manage. The magic number that Robin Dunbar found was 150. The magic number is 150. Let's break this down a little bit. So what Dunbar found was again, the number's 150, but if we were to break it down, you really have 5 people, your top 5. These are your closest family, best friends, mentors, your ride or dies is what we'll call them. This is your top 5. And then you have this next group of 15. These are your close confidants, the people you trust with big decisions. Then you have 50 more people. This is your strong business and personal network. And then you really have everyone else up to the total of 150. 150 is the maximum number of relationships you can maintain before relationships become diluted. It's not to say you don't know more than 150 people, but in terms of maintaining relationships, once you extend beyond about 150, relationships start to become diluted. So when you think about beyond 150, that's the organizations, the social groups, and relationships. They start breaking down unless those organizations, those social groups, those organizations, if they don't restructure, they'll start breaking down. So I think it's important we recognize, again, 5 people in the ride or die, 15 are close confidants, 50 in your business and personal network. And then there's like this maximum of 150 total before you start to dilute relationships. Now, here's why you should care about this, though, because I think it's a mistake most business owners are making. They think that more connections equals more success, when in reality, what should we all be focusing on? We should be focusing on stronger connections. So let's talk about Dunbar's number in business. It pertains to team culture. Once a company grows beyond 150 employees, team cohesion breaks down. So you've got to solve for that. How do you solve for it? Maybe it's creating smaller leadership pods or smaller departments. I think you can look at Dunbar's number in customer and partner retention. If you're serving 1,000 clients, how many of them do you actually know well? My bet is your best business comes from nurturing the right 150. No surprise, it's not exactly 80-20, but it's pretty darn close when you say 150 out of 1,000. Your best business comes from nurturing the right 150. The key word there, the operative word there is right. How about Dunbar's number in networking? Instead of collecting LinkedIn connections, maybe you focus on 150 truly valuable business relationships. Something to think about. I think we could also use Dunbar's number to scale a bit smarter, though, in our business and in our world for that matter. I think the first thing we could all be doing is auditing our circles. Like, who really matters? I think there's a step-by-step process that we could take to really identify the 150 most valuable relationships. And I want to go through it high level right now. Probably requires a deeper dive, but here's what's going through my mind. I think the first thing we could do is just list our key people. Write down the 5 most important people in your life. Family, mentors, business partners, advisors. Write those 5 people down. Most important people in your life. Now write down the 15 people who significantly influence your decisions. This is your trusted colleagues, again, your close friends, maybe your core clients. And then write down 50 to 150 more clients, employees, business connections, power players in your industry. These are your key people, the 5 most important, the 15 who significantly influence your decisions, and the call it 50 to 150 that are the others, that are clients, employees, business connections, players in the industry. So that would be step 1. Now, step 2, can you rank by impact? When you look at this list, who adds the most value to your business and life? Who in this list do you trust deeply? Who on this list, great question here, drains your energy and needs to be deprioritized? So again, step 1 is making a list of all these people. Step 2 is ranking by impact. Now, step 3 would be identifying the gaps. Are you missing any key relationships in mentors or in industry leaders or strategic partners? When you look through that 5, 15, and 50 to 150, who's missing? Are you spending time maintaining weak relationships or low value connections? Again, identify gaps as number 3, as step 3. Now, in addition to auditing your circle and figuring out who really matters, I think we could also take this go deeper, not wider approach. I think we need to strengthen the right relationships. What could be the steps there? I think step 1, we got to prioritize time and energy. If you only have 150 relationship slots, who deserves most of your attention? I want you to shift time from the weak connections to the top 15 to 50 or so, right? Look at that list and figure out who's getting most of your attention. And if the individuals getting a lot of your attention aren't ranked closer to the top, we've got a challenge. That's a gap. So I want to shift time from the weak connections to the top connections. I think step 2, we got to increase contact frequency from there. So your 5 inner circle, you got to have, higher frequency there. Weekly check-ins or personal connections like calls or deeper conversations, whatever it may be. Now your 15 key people, what should the frequency maybe look like there? It might be monthly interactions that are meaningful. Maybe it's lunch. Maybe it's a mastermind meeting. Maybe it's some sort of strategic or purposeful update. So the top 5, we might be meeting with weekly. The top 15, maybe we're meeting with monthly. And then when you think about the 50 to 150, business or industry network, I think you could look at those as quarterly touch points. Maybe it's dinner or it's some sort of collaboration, whatever it may be, you're looking at that as quarterly. So the top 5 will be weekly, the next 15 be monthly, and the 50 to 150 are quarterly. Again, increasing the contact frequency with that group of 150. And then step 3, in terms of going deeper and not wider, you got to give more than you take. Be more purposeful in how you do this. Offer more value first, like introductions or referrals or resources, whatever it may be, because relationships start to compound when you help others win. And when you help others win, especially when you're not expecting anything in return. And then I would say a bonus step here, I'd be tracking this stuff. I'd be using a CRM or a spreadsheet. I'd look at who I'm engaging with and how often. I'd set reminders. I think you got to be pretty purposeful here. I think with respect to, both of these exercises here in terms of auditing your circle and going deeper, not wider, I think one thing we've got to be thinking about, and it sounds harsh, but we've got to remove some dead weight. I mean, if a relationship is one-sided or it's draining your batteries, it's time to cut back or even let it go. I think you've got to free up space for more valuable connections that align with your vision. Again, remember, Dunbar's, number here says 150. So you have a limited number of slots. That's what science will tell us. So you may have to from time to time, free up space for more valuable connections. In closing, I want to challenge you to take 5 minutes today and just list out the most important people in your life and business. You may not be able to get through 150 in 5 minutes, but list out those individuals that are most important to you. If you're spreading yourself too thin, it's probably time to double down on the relationships that truly move the needle. So make that list, analyze how you're spending that time, maybe rank those key people, figure out where the gaps are, and then aim to go deeper by prioritizing these relationships, increasing the frequency, and giving more than you take. So that's the challenge for you today. Stop chasing more, start nurturing the right relationships, and think around, who are your most important 150 relationships? Are you truly investing in them? That's all I have for you today, the No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get after it.